Very good evening to everyone. Myself, Unati Barolia, and today I am dealing with the topic Absalom and Achitophel comparison with other political satires. Yes, these are my personal informations and objectives which we are going to deal with is we'll go through the information about the poet, central idea, then analyze the political satire from the different time period. Then we'll go through the similarities and differences and approach and themes. Uh, we'll go through the first of all the England's first poet laureate, he was John Dryden, and his time duration was from 1631 to 1700. He was a poet, literary critic, translator, and a playwright. The period came to be known in literary circle as Age of Dryden because he seems to be as a dominating literary crisis happening during the era. And a romanticist writer, one of the Walter Scott, called him Glorious John. Central idea of the poem. Um, so a poem has a wit in its satirize and allegorize the political events and figures of his time, particularly the exclusive crisis of the late 17th century in the England. The poem uses biblical characters and stories to symbolize and comment on the political turmoil and power struggle of the era. Biblical characters like David, his rebellious son Absalom, yes, and then explores the themes of loyalty, betrayal, and consequences of political ambition. Yes. Symbolic representation of characters we are taking over here is just to signify that who is playing that which role. King David, which symbolizes King of England, Charles II. Then Absalom, James Scott, Duke of Monmouth. Achitophel symbolizes real life Earl of Shaftesbury. Then Zimri represents the Duke of Buckingham. Shimi stands for Thames Thomas Thine, and Nathan the Wise, a diplomat of David, like Charles too. Yes. Themes. Here we will come across the themes like political allegory, loyalty and betrayal, the role of relationships, satire and wit, divine right of king, religious references, political instability. Yes. First of all, we'll go through the similarities in satirical commentary and historical context. The characters to represent the real life counterparts, just as modern satires often uses. Yes, political satires typically draw on the specific political and social context of their times. They lampoons on the issues and personalities of the era in which they were written. Will then the differences. Absalom and Achitophel was a common form for the satirical work in the 17th century, whereas in common form, what are the audiences like? They might be the one who knows knows to like read or understand or explain the live performance on the stage, or one who knows the poetry. Then, in contrast, modern political satires uses novels, plays, or even television shows and cartoons. Directness and indirectness versus indirectness. Dryden's poem is more allegorical and indirect in its satire. Modern political satires can be more direct and explicit in their critics. Yes, this is a cartoon character, The Simpsons, which symbolizes they at the first it won't seem like they are satirical, signifies satires, but their predictions and they used to they satire on the events that might have happened that gonna happen in future. And yes, media and audiences. Yes, as I mentioned, that the one who knows the genre or the type of the poems, they are the in Dryden's time, the audience for political satire was limited. Modern political satires often reach wider audience because of that tools. like we are having internet, social media through that. And targets and themes, the specific targets and issues vary across the time periods. Dryden's poem, for example, the addresses the exclusive crisis and the succession of the English throne, whereas modern satires may focus on the contemporary issues. Like Dryden's poem was about the, like we can say, political and corruptions during that time, and they are indirect. But whereas when we see in the modern perspective, they are very direct, like using the characters' names and all. Yes, when we go to the conclusion, we'll see that Jonathan Swift, Gulliver's Travels, and the 20th century, George Orwell's Animal Farm. These are some of the examples from different centuries, and one also the example from the modern times, that is Stewart. Yes, I forgot the name. So yes, this example from different centuries and demonstrate how political satires has been used to comment on political, social, and cultural issues throughout the history. Yes. These are my references, and thank you. If anyone have any questions, can ask.
YouTube Shorts.
So, Unnati, my question is, in what ways does George Orwell's Animal Farm differ from Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel in its use of allegory as a satirical device?
Okay. Animal Farm, right? Hmm. Absalom and Achitophel mostly deals with the satirical devices, satirical themes like corruption and environmentalist and all. But when we go to the Animal Farm, they have totalitarianism and we can say Russian Revolution in their works. So we can see that there's a difference between their works, satirical. Yes.
My question is compare Gulliver's Travels with your topic in terms to political satire.
Gulliver's.
And ask question. Come to focus.
Uh, my question is compare Gulliver's Travels with your topic in terms to political satire.
Okay. As I mentioned, um, yes, Absalom and Achitophel deals with another, like different from Gulliver's Travel, where Gulliver's Travel deals with the imaginative works, like their landscape is shown in an imaginative way, and the characters are being satirized there also, but there we can see much imaginative works, and yes, it do carry. Thank you.